Says Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star Telegram, your Cowboys beat writer since 1997. And that is not Mac Ingo next to me. That is the great George T., the defender of the Star, legendary Alabama safety, who's joining me out here at the Star. Welcome to the show. This is Cowboys Overtime, sponsored by Windows Nation.
Well, it is glad to be here. And no, I am not Mac Ingle. I like him. He's a nice fella. And
You like him?
he's a decent looking gentleman, but he ain't got the kind of looks that I got.
He don't have looks like you. He likes to talk about his hair. You know, you got that salt and pepper working. So we're gonna. Or is it white? Is it salt and pepper? Or white? I didn't need which one is it right now?
It's too much sugar up there. That's all.
It's too much white stuff on the rooftop. That's all right. It's ready for Christmas, Santa Claus. We're almost there. This Cowboys team, they shocked me a little bit this past week, not by beating the Carolina Panthers, but because they had a party at the Panthers' house. They celebrated the Ring of Honor at the Panthers' house. I thought that was a little disrespectful, throwing a party at somebody else, like going to somebody else's wedding and proposing at their wedding. But it was all about getting Jimmy in the Ring of Honor. Just talk about Jimmy going to the Ring of Honor, how important that was.
Oh, well, I think it's long overdue that it actually hasn't been in it. I don't know all the backstory. You hear Jimmy saying, different things about how they always got along and talked and had great conversations. But, man, it is weird, though, that he wanted to announce it while they were away. This seemed like this would have been a great game to announce it while you're here.
But you got Dolly Parton coming. There's always something. You got Dolly Parton here. You got Salvation Army. You got Kettle. You got everything else. And that game was on Fox, and they wanted to announce it on Fox. It's funny because, Jerry and Jimmy say, we never disagree. We never argue. Then why y'all break up? Why did you fire him?
Well, I don't believe that. So I didn't play with Jimmy here at the Cowboys. I played with Jimmy Johnson when I was with the Dolphins for a year. And I knew what kind of dude he was. And we had some interesting conversations too. So I can only imagine what kind of conversations he was having with the owner of the team that might have been telling him what to do. Because the guy he's tough. He's a great coach. I mean, you can't take anything away from him. He is deserving of being in the Ring of Honor. But back then, I don't want to shy away from it. He was a tough cookie, man. I mean, he treated people a different way, players too. So I'm happy for him. Maybe it'll change the outlook of how the Cowboys play. Maybe we can get rid of a little bit of those jinx. Maybe
there you go.
A little bit of karma.
I appreciate that because that is what it is. A lot of Cowboys fans believe because of how Jerry treated Jimmy and because he had that put him in the Ring of Honor and because of the firing. That's why they hadn't won a Super Bowl in 28 years. Has the curse been lifted? Has the curse finally been lifted off to this Cowboys team that Jimmy's finally in the Ring of Honor? They can start winning again. As the curse been lifted, they can start winning Super Bowl titles because he's finally did right by Jimmy Johnson.
Well, players still got to play, and you still got to have people on the team. You can, I do believe that you're rewarded for things when you do good stuff to other people, right? So I do feel like this is a good step in the right direction. But still, the guys still got to go play. They got to.
Oh no, they do play, but you got to do right by me. Until you do right by me, you got to like color purple, Jimmy. Like until you do right by me, everything you do will crumble. You will not win another title because yes, you won one without me with Barry, but I built those titles. And until you do right by me, you will not get another title. Is really the point of view that a lot of people have taken with the Cowboys. I mean, 4 playoff wins since 1996. For all the success, and you were in the league, and when they won those titles, and it's just mind-boggling that this franchise had 4 playoff wins since 1996.
It's unbelievable because it really kind of hit me because my son was born, in '93, and he says, "Dad, once you got to the Cowboys in '96, I hadn't really seen them be really, really good. And, we're fans here. What's up with that?" And I think it is mind-boggling to say that even in the past years, we've had the good years. We're just getting knocked out. So maybe this is the catalyst. We put him up on December the 30th. He go ahead and jumps in, and then we can win a couple playoff games
and make that run. Well, I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, your son, like my kids, at least your son was born in '93. I mean, they won titles, but he wasn't around for those titles. my kids were born in 2000, and they know nothing about the Cowboys being winners. I mean, all they know is heartache and disappointment and what we've seen. And so they, it might well be Greek mythology that the Cowboys have this legacy of champions, because this whole generation have not seen that. And so, at least from some Cowboy fans, the curse is lifted, and maybe this will be the impetus to get the Cowboys finally over the top in 2003. This is Clarence Hill with the legendary George Teague, the defender of the star. If you don't know, this is the man that knocked T.O. off the star, okay? He defended the star. He's a legend in Cowboys world because of how he took care of T.O. But we're going to take a quick break for our sponsor, Window Nation.
Window Nation, the star of window replacement and proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys, can help you fill the house this season with savings. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and make no interest payments for 60 months, 5 full years. Fill your house for a customized authentic Dallas Cowboys jersey while supplies last. You could even help fill the Cowboys house and win tickets to a game. Visit windownation.com/Cowboys now for details. Call 866-95-NATION. Window Nation, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
This is Clarence Hill back with the great George Teague. Mac Engel is not here. He's taking the weekend off. He always takes Thanksgiving week off, spend time with his family. Of course, I don't get the benefit of being able to do that, but I got my man George Teague, again, the defender of the star, here filling in, and could have no better fill-in than George Teague. He already has better hair than Mac Engel. I'm going to already say that. Mac, he thinks his hair is golden, but I like the white stuff.
Yeah, my wife likes it too. She said I used to dye it a little bit. And she's like, why didn't you just stop doing that? Stop trying to impress.
Well, I did that too. I started doing that just for men. Just especially when I do TV or different things, I would put that in there, and I said, no, I'm gonna let that go and just go with the gray, man. Just go with the gray. Cowboys Thanksgiving Day tradition continues on Thursday, a Turkey Day feast against those dastardly Washington Commanders. The Cowboys have played on Thanksgiving pretty much every year since 1966, except for 2 years in 75 and 77. But it's what the Cowboys do, and what we're used to. Cowboys playing on Thanksgiving. Short week. You played on Sunday. You got to get ready to play again in 4 days. Talk about that turnaround. Talk about the challenge of getting your body to be able to play 2 games in basically 4 days.
There's a couple things with that, Clarence, that I think most people don't think about. One of them they do think about is short week. Hey, you play on Sunday, you're banged up, depending on what kind of game you had, how much you were hitting people and all that. It takes 2 to 3 days, in my experience, right, of getting fully recovered. So it's really important for the coach to give you that rest. They play late, they get back. Monday morning, you're just now trying to pick up where's my arm, where's my knee, where's where's the stuff you got to use Tuesday to put it back in,
right?
And things of that nature. Now, you only got 2 more days, and you're still worried about the game plan to do that. That's one aspect, but the other piece is because it's such a special game. It's Thanksgiving. You got a lot of family,
right? You got to manage that.
The mental piece of it, just not being at the mall all day long or going to eat you got to be, you got to temper, say, man, I got a really big game on Thursday. I still need to go to sleep. I can't be doing all this other stuff with you guys. So even though you're happy to see them, you got to stay mentally focused so you can play the game.
And one extra challenge this year is that Mike McCarthy has allowed his team to stay at home night before games. Y'all didn't do that in the past.
No.
But they stay at home. And I know it's one thing to do it on a regular game, but when on Thanksgiving, we got everybody in town, that's another challenge of, you trying to get your own curfew, get your rest, and everybody and their dog is in your house having a good time, celebrating, partying, cooking, and everything on Thanksgiving.
And the other people that want to be in there to make your legs tired.
Right. Yes. I see that.
I'm just saying, man, it's trusting. I do believe, when athletes are focused, they can be focused. But sometimes there are distractions that I don't know I'd be willing to take as a coach. I think I'd still be trying to stick you in a hotel.
Well, the Cowboys won 12 straight games at home. He attributes their home dominance and home success to them allowing them to stay at home. And that's one thing he's changed, since last year. They won 12 straight games at home. And this year, they've blown people out like nobody's business at home. They beat up on a lot of bad teams, and it's kind of what they do. But they've had a great opportunity to really shine at home. And So you got a Washington team that's 4-7. And one thing we know about the Cowboys, they beat up on bad teams. And you can say what you want about the San Francisco game and the Philadelphia game, although they play well against Philadelphia. And outside the Arizona game, when they get a bad team, they beat up on bad teams. They got a bad team coming in there this week.
Well, yes, and you still want them to play well, and still continue to get this momentum. You can slip up on games like this, like you said, short rest, their quarterback playing decent, I think. They don't have all the tools necessary, the Commanders I'm talking about, to be able to beat us, I don't think, athletically. But, man, these always just scare me because you see teams like this. They can play defense if they need to. They lost some key.
They traded to their two pass rushers, but they're a decent defensive team. They lost last week to the Giants team the Cowboys punished the week before because they had 4 or 5 turnovers. They had 3 interceptions, and the quarterback, he gets sacked a lot.
Well, I understand math, and sometimes A plus B equals C, but just because we beat the Giants and they beat the Giants doesn't mean
it doesn't mean anything. and you remember last year, Cowboys going to the playoffs, Washington struggling. They kicked the Cowboys butt the last game of the season. And it's Washington, it's Thanksgiving. It's always something squirrely happens when they play Washington. So, the focus for the Cowboys is to make the main thing and take care of business and do what they did last week and take care of bad team.
Quarterback. Just get the pressure on the quarterback. Play good defense. Contain the run. That's the only thing that I would say. If you just don't let Brian Robinson start getting loose, running the ball. He's a bigger back, a little bit more physical. And you see how they work.
And they got dangerous receivers too. Terry McLaurin.
Yeah. But our secondary is kind of legit though, man. And what we're doing in the back end is pretty good.
Speaking of that, DaRon Bland, can you coming out of nowhere to do what he's done, replacing Trevon Diggs? How amazing is what he's done? Just kind of out of nowhere to a certain extent.
It is amazing, and I know he's always had the ball skills and play some wide receiver and things of that nature. But his closing speed, man, just to be able to run underneath the guy like he did in this past game. Catch the ball, have the awareness to jump right back up, go score. I mean, those are things that you just know it's just natural, and you can't grade that kind of stuff. So it's been a big plus in losing Trevon Diggs and having him just step into that spot. It's been good.
Before we get out of here, the defender of the star, the T.O., you were here, you're not alone. Wasn't a long time legendary Cowboy before that, but you went in and stepped up and protected the house. Just talk about that incident and how that has changed your legacy in Dallas, or shaped your legacy in Dallas.
Yeah, it's been a major blessing to me and my family. During that moment in that game, there's a lot of anger and a lot of tension, and just even the other day, I don't know if you saw it. He was spouting off on Instagram a little bit
about that.
That's what when there was a big block in the Colorado game. Travis Hunter deboed somebody in the game or something, and he was like, "Yeah, that's what I did to George Teague back in the day." I'm like, "Well, what is this coming from?" He's comparing us to this college game, and it just, it's so petty and bitter because he won't talk to me. I've been around him in person several times. He would never have a conversation with me. But that right there has really brought me closer to the fans. It comes up quite a bit, and I love it because there's a lot of things I can do. Being an athletic director, I can talk to people about how to make the decisions, what that means, what it fines mean, that kind of stuff, but also how certain moments can define you about who you are
and your character. And just to reset just for a minute, T.O. was with the 49ers, and he came in here and had a couple of touchdowns, and instead of celebrating the end zone, he ran to the middle of the field. The Cowboys start in the middle of the field at Old Texas Stadium and preened on the star. And Emmett scored, and he went to the middle of the field and said, "This is our house." Then T.O. scored and did it again, and George Teague had enough. And he followed him foot race down there, and he, knocked him off the star.
Well, there's just certain things you don't do. Some things you can't.
You don't do it in somebody's house.
You don't. You don't let people put their feet on your coffee table at the house. You raised that way. I know your mama told you, hey, man, don't put your feet up there on that thing.
Right.
And it's the same way. And people always say, well, it's just a logo or something. No, even for me personally, it meant more to that because, I had been traded. I had been cut. Jerry Jones gave me an opportunity. I remember the conversation I had with him to even get here via Atlanta that people don't even know. And so it's special to me. I run a lot of really good guys. Darren Woodson, Primetime, Troy Aikman, Nate Newton. I mean, it doesn't matter. Charlie Williams. All the guys really just brought me into this house. And so I want to do what I can to say thank you.
You did. And the Cowboy Nation loves you for it and will forever love you for it. One more thing. I just want to know, when I went to Tuscaloosa, Brian Denny Stadium, I did not disrespect your house.
No, you didn't. You didn't even text me after the game.
I mean, I let you make it. When Texas went down there, I talked a lot of trash. Yeah. I didn't spit on your floor. We didn't, we didn't plant the flag, on anything like that,
No, you didn't. I'll give you
He's an Alabama. I'm a Longhorn, so I had to give it to him just a little bit because he talked trash before the game. He said Texas wasn't going to do it, and we beat them by double digits. Still the best win in college football this year. Winning by double digits. We're done, man. Thank you to George T. Mac, we'll see you later. Enjoy your holidays, man. Thank you to William Nation. This is Clarence Hill signing out with Defender of the Star.